To my left is Rodney Olson, is our manager, and to my right is Rebecca, our secretary, and then board member Kathy Martin, Todd Fleming, and Jim Heim, so our longest serving board member. Our fifth member has a medical situation, so she's not here today, and that's Roxanne Wadman. I'd like to welcome everybody for our Lakeside County Water and Sewer District Board of Director meeting of July 15th, 2025. Before we go deeper into it, I guess we'll have the board members approve the agenda that is presented at this point, unless there's any questions or information needed. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda, or?
I move to approve the agenda.
Yes.
Kathy, do you want a second? Do I have a second?
One second.
Jim.
Okay, we have motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the public comments for items not on the agenda. So if anybody has something to ask, tribute, I guess, that is not on the agenda, this would be the time to speak. That's the time to bring it up, and we'll take it under advisement most likely. Oh, sorry, go ahead. If you can say your name and where you live.
My name is Fred Kiramijian, and I live in Summers. I'm a ratepayer for the sewer service only. In the mailing that I received, I saw that there's classifications of ratepayers, standard and fixed and non-compliant. And non-compliant is defined as
So you're talking about the rate hearing that we're going to have later on
I know
today?
this is important because
Okay.
I want it on a record, and those classes are treated very differently. That's what I want to understand. The non-compliant ones included in that category is people who do not allow a water meter to be installed, who are declining. Now, I've been a fixed rate payer because I do have a water meter. When I initially became a customer, everything was working fine. And then Mr. Olson will remember that the requirement came in to put in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, continuous monitoring information to be sent from the meter to the district. I refused to do that. Then, because for privacy purposes, because you can basically find out what time I drink coffee in the morning, what time I go to the bedroom, and so on. And there are many lawsuits across the country to districts, which the districts have almost 100% lost. At the time, I basically offered to Mr. Olson to said, I'll accept it if you only promise not to do no more than one reading a day. He said no. So then I was charged to flat rate. It was not unreasonable, so I didn't want to muddy up the waters. So that's how we've been going since then. Given what's coming up right now, I really need to know what category will I be placed. I have a meter that's still working, collecting all the information, but I assume I'm classified as a non-compliant and will be punished for that. And if that happens, Mr. Olson, please make sure none of the emails that we exchanged are destroyed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, moving down to the next item on the agenda, approval of June 2025 minutes. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes? If everybody's done, then if you guys have read it before, if you have a motion, That'd be great.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, the motion, do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Both same sign. Thank you. Same with the financial report. Did everyone have a chance to review it? Any comments, questions on it? Otherwise, we're open for a motion.
Motion to approve the financials.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Bill approval. Same item here. Did anybody have a chance to, or have a chance to review it and look it over? Any questions? Okay.
I'll move.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Moving down to the old business item, and before we go in there, I mean, there's a lot of people here. I'd like to just quickly give you the ground rules for the meeting, just otherwise we're going to be here forever. I basically use the rules that generally are used in these type of meetings just to make it somewhat civil and so everybody gets a chance to talk and read. So item 1 that I have on my rules for this meeting is everyone is treated with respect. Be respectful to the board and be respectful to others in the room. There'll be no heckling, no laughing, no clapping, no talking when somebody else is talking, and no addressing the audience. Any person wishing to provide comments may, after recognized by the board, provide his/her name, address for the record. Each person wishing to provide comments shall address the board, and they shall not address the audience. There shall be no crosstalk between audience members. Each person wishing to provide comments will be allowed to speak only once, and we make it now for 3 minutes maximum. Rebecca will take the time, and once it gets close to the 3 minutes, we'll give you a warning, and if you can hopefully wrap up your statements at that point, that would be great.
Can I object to that?
You can, that's the rules at this point.
Yes, well, there are some people that take a long time
Correct.
to get their questions.
Correct. The board reserves the right to terminate the public comment period and/or adjourn the meeting in the event the discussions become unruly or unmanageable. With that, the only other item I have is we also want to mention that we are recording the meeting. So if possible, if you can come up to the podium and speak so that the recorder will get you better so we know later on we have a good record of the meeting. And again, it's important to mention your name and address before you speak. With that, we go to old business, and then Rodney will, our manager will read the ordinance that we're currently discussing about then.
So this is ordinance 25-4. This is an ordinance to provide for establishing and modifying sewer rates and charges by a resolution instead of an ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask that the microphone be passed from person to person so that you broadcast more clearly for the rest of us? Is your microphone portable?
This one is, you mean for Rodney?
Yeah, well, for
Could you not-
anybody that's speaking.
Oh,
Can't hear.
Turn it up.
It might be easier just.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is ordinance number 25-4. This is an ordinance to provide for establishing and modifying sewer rates by charges by a resolution.
With that, the meeting is open, or the discussion. So if the first one would like to come up and make that presentation, again, don't forget your name, address, and your statement, please. Thank you.
This is the public hearing.
Okay, should I just walk up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is about ordinance 25-4.
Hello, can you all hear me okay?
No.
Is this microphone on?
Push it.
Is that better?
Yes.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Cameron Dexter. My address is 309 Hawthorne Avenue. I am representing Citizens for a Better Flathead. Citizens for a Better Flathead is speaking on behalf of many ratepayers and Flathead County residents who are deeply concerned about this rate increase for many reasons. First, we'd like to reiterate that holding a public hearing at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday does not allow for meaningful public comment, as many working residents and ratepayers are not able to attend this meeting. CBF and Bruce Young, a ratepayer, asked that the meeting could be moved to a more accommodating time, but the district did not comply and decidedly held this public hearing during its regularly scheduled board meeting. Additionally, LCWSD has failed to provide information requested at the June 17, 2025 board meeting and previously by verbal and written public comment. LCWSD has failed to produce and provide for the public the following documents. 1. A comprehensive sewer rate, tax, and fee study by an independent, qualified consultant covering a minimum of 5 years. This study would show why these proposed rates are justified and explain how many more rate increases are planned to cover the expansion plans that have recently jumped from the original prediction of $24 million to some $58 million. The study should also include all bonding costs, current and future, details of any potential future levies, and details of the $20 million loan announced at the May 20th open house. Number 2, legally required audits of the district's finances, which the district has failed to produce since 2021. While the district provided CBF with the contract depicting a biennial audit set schedule between ACPA and LCWSD, this is not an audit. Regardless of the biennial schedule, the district should have produced a 2023 audit as well as a 2025 audit. Additionally, financial documents must be provided that include the required annual calculations of charges for services under 713-2301 MCA for the last 5 years. This has not been posted for public review on LCWSD's website, despite LCWSD having annual 5% raises since 2021. Number 3, LCWSD's board-approved detailed budgets showing income and expenses for 5 years, including 2025. It is totally unacceptable and perhaps illegal that LCWSD is holding the rate increase hearing when it currently is operating since June 30th, 2025, without any new budget for fiscal year 2026. The financial reports provided as part of your agenda packet are not a budget and do not meet your legal requirements for an annual budget, meaning LCWSD is not meeting the Montana Local Government Act state standards. Additionally, the district has failed for many years to attach its minutes as is legally required so the public can review them, annual budgets as adopted, and all public comments such as these we are making today.
We're getting pretty close to the 3 minutes. Now, this is not the rate hearing yet, so we would like to, if you can wrap it up, that'd be great.
Okay, when should I comment on the rate hearing? Is
The
this
next
related
item,
to the ordinance?
the next
Okay.
ordinance.
Then I will come back for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have in front of us right now an ordinance that Rodney read to provide for establishing and modifying sewer rates and charges by resolution. This is our second reading, so we need a motion and a second to move. This is not the rate hearing yet.
Are you commenting on
I
the
am
ordinance?
commenting on that.
On the ordinance.
Go ahead.
He wanted to clarify and make sure that we're not commenting on the rate hearing at this time. That is a resolution. We're commenting on an ordinance to provide and establishing, modifying sewer rates and charges by resolution. So if your comment isn't about that, then save it for the rate hearing.
So I think everyone needs to understand that this ordinance that is the subject of my comment will strip everyone in this room of the right to protest a rate increase. By changing this to a resolution-only adoption of rate increases, you don't have the legally protected option under an ordinance to protest an unfair rate increase. I strongly object to your consideration. I understand when I asked what was the rationale, you said your attorney recommended that you change this. Well, of course your attorney's going to recommend to change it. But the public here today, and I hope everyone will stand up and speak to that, should say, please don't take away our ability to protest a rate increase, particularly a rate increase that's before you today, that you provided no financial information that is really critical for the public to be informed and to be able to speak. I don't believe I got to say my name. Of course, you know me. Mary Flowers, Citizens for a Better Flathead, P.O. Box 2198 in Kalispell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
Hi, my name is Holly Hand. I live at 117 Tamarack Terrace, Lakeside, Montana, PO Box 131. Nice to meet you, Brad. We've talked a lot on the phone. I direct the community garden in Lakeside. I connect the I help operate our community garden here in Lakeside, which is a lovely, lovely thing that your district provides us with. My concern is, again, that the ratepayers will be giving up their option to, object to any increase in rates if this is passed. Is that correct? Not correct? I don't know. Okay. I just think that maybe, obviously, there's a lot of people here to make comments, and we need to be aware of that. There's concern in this community. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Are there any other comments?
I think we. My name is Susan Cahill. I live at 425 Sunnyview Lane in Kalispell, and I'm co-chair of Citizens for a Better Flathead. I'll be back, by the way. But at the moment, I'm just opposing this ordinance 25-4, and everybody should look at it and oppose it also. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yes. Excuse me. I'm Ron Hawkins, 301 Caroline Point Road, and when she made the comment that it would take away our right to object, you shook your head no. I'd like you to stand up and be on record as saying no, not shaking your head. Not shaking your head. Is the word no? Can you say that?
No.
No, it will not take away our ability to object to the ordinance and to the rate increases. Is that a no?
That is a no.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Shaking our head, that's what it is.
Hi, my name is Tom Carlson, and I'm from 7155 Highway 93 here in Lakeside. And I'm just concerned about this because we don't, if we do have our opportunity to object and for the commission to be open to all the people here in Lakeside, I know it would be easier to just be able to make the decisions for us, but when we're looking at rate increases, as we're talking about later, some of us may want to have a vote on that. And I just wanted to say I'm in objection to this 45-4. Thank you.
25-4.
Hi, my name is Nancy Baker. It's short.
It's good. Just speak for it.
My name is Nancy Baker. I live at 241 Benz Lane here in Lakeside. And I would like to say I am very against this ordinance to do it by resolution because I think that water systems that work well when all the stakeholders know what's happening. And if you would have the power to just make a resolution and a vote, I'm a person that works. This is a work day for me. Having these meetings at 2 o'clock, not having the ability to be a participant in participation with my water system does not lead for a good community. I've worked in Africa where people have no safe water to drink. They have no sanitation, no toilets. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this water system, the ability to have running water at a tap and a flushing toilet. I'm so, so appreciative of it. But I want to remain a stakeholder in it and not an angry, disgruntled person when things happen without any notice. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Hi, my name is Austa Bowen, 234 Old Highway 93 South in Summers. When the sewer first came through in 1980-something, I was thrilled. I was thrilled to pay $40 a month just for sewer. I'm not on water, just for the sewer. And I continue to be, I don't even remember what the rate is now. It's on auto pay for me, but I continue to be thrilled and grateful for everything that Lakeside has done to provide us with that service. We have a global treasure in Flathead Lake over there. And it's crucial that we protect it. And I want to thank you all for that opportunity. And I also beg you for the justice of allowing those of us who have funded it from the beginning to continue to have input and ownership in it in a management sense. So thank you.
Thank you.
Margaret Davis, 865 Lakeside Boulevard. I don't recognize why this ordinance resolution is critical at this point. The rate hearing is a central point, and if this proposed ordinance resolution can be tabled and considered later, that would be a positive thing for all the people gathered here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
Good afternoon. My name is Bruce Young. I live at 274 Stoner Creek Road. I am a stakeholder in the sewer and have been since its inception. And I am very much against a resolution that would take the voice away from those of us who are stakeholders in this and who have a part to play in this process. So I would ask you to cancel this resolution and get on with the things that allow the public to participate in a process that they're paying for, and especially those of us that are within the sewer district. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is John Roderick. I live at 117 Tamarack Terrace. I'm not a participant in the sewer program. I'd like to be. I'd like to see it expanded down to Angel Point Road. But I think it's in the best interest of the community and the democratic process to vote no on this resolution, to this ordinance, and leave public comment open so that people can have a voice in this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Otherwise, with that, we close the hearing and we'll have the board discussion. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead.
Mark, could we just address how this changes from, going from ordinance to resolution?
Speak up, please.
Talk into the microphone. Hold it in front of you.
Could you clear up for me the change from ordinance to resolution, okay? And as far as the ability for the public to have input, how does that change?
I'll have Rodney answer it. He has the best answers for this.
I don't know about the best answer, but I'm going to answer. So right now, this is our water system. So we're two separate systems. We have a water system and we have sewer. So those are two separate companies that you know that. So the water right now is everything we do as far as rates and so on have to do with, we do that by resolution. It's always been right by resolution. And so sewer had been done in the past by ordinance, okay? MCA rule still tells us that we have to have a public hearing. We have to notify the public, whether it's a resolution or an ordinance. We're still going to have to allow for public comment. Everyone will still be involved. This was simply a way to clear up functioning paperwork issues between water and sewer, so that we're doing them both the same way. That answer your question?
Yes.
Point of information,
Any other questions?
point of information, please.
We're talking right now. We're at the board meeting.
But Robert's rules allow for point of information, I believe.
Please, we can talk later on again. At this point, the board is discussing it. Any other questions from the board?
I have a comment, if not my opinion. I saw this as one of these cleanup documents that somehow been overlooked. I've been down this road before about whether water districts have ordinances or not. A few years ago, we hired a professor out of Montana State College, and in the meeting we were in was when Lakeside was discussing having their own municipality, and the meeting was held over in a motel meeting room where the volunteer park is now. And the professor got up and made the statement that, I think he said water districts, but I was always thinking water and sewer, because most of the Title VII Montana Code is about rural water and sewer districts. But anyway, his opinion at the time was that water and sewer districts, I think he said water and sewer, didn't have ordinances, so that I happened to have a copy, a book of the Title VII rules, Montana rules, and right there I showed him the sentence where it says, we perform everything by ordinance. And so there's a so-called expert that didn't know what he was talking about, and so when I saw this, I didn't have a problem with it, because I know when you have a major rate change, you have to have hearings and you have to have public input and all of that, and you have legal notifications of such. So I didn't see a problem with this change, because I saw it as cleaning up some technical language that's probably been overlooked for a long time. So I suspect that's why it's before us today. But I think if I could spend a little time looking in Title VII, we'd find where, at least the same sentence I referred to, that meeting we had when they were looking at trying to establish a municipality for Lakeside, when that consultant from Montana State College said rural water districts and didn't have ordinances, and there it is, black and white, but they do have ordinances and they make rules. So whatever reason this got up before us tonight was somebody found that we're supposed to, in the water district, I guess, but what Rodney just said, on the water side of the business, it's supposed to be by resolution, not ordinance. Well, our ordinances, for the most part, cover both water and sewer districts, so I saw it as a cleanup thing, but I don't believe it's would prohibit anybody from protesting anything, whether it be ordinance or resolution.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Point of information?
No, we're in the public hearing's closed. We'll talk about in the next section,
You're
item
misrepresenting this, and I
resolution.
think it needs to be clear. clarify that an ordinance can be voted on twice, and you can put
Please,
it to a vote.
please, Mary, this is the board meetings right now going on, board discussion.
You should have had a separate hearing than your board meeting.
This is the second reading also, please. Any other questions from the board? I would take the motion if you have.
Yeah, I'll motion to approve it.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll now open a public hearing on the proposed increase in sewer rates.
What was the motion?
What was the motion? They just passed
It's
the resolution.
the resolution 25-4.
No, the ordinance. You keep using those words interchangeably and it's inaccurate.
We did the ordinance 25-4. Apologize. We will now open a public hearing of the proposed increase in sewer rates.
Resolution 25-6.
Yeah, for the upcoming resolution. All present are welcome to speak. When it's your turn, please clearly state your name and address for the record. Again, we are limiting it for 3 minutes. Please keep comments respectful. Go ahead. If you can get a line made, if you have people that want to speak, please.
I'll break it open. Margaret Davis, 865
Hold on,
Lakeside
Margaret,
Boulevard.
please, sorry. Whoever is desiring to speak to this public rate hearing that we have started now, start a line over here behind Margaret so that we can keep the process flowing. When her 3 minutes done, we can move the next person up. So if you please respect that, at least line up 10 or so behind her so we can just be ready to go.
Thank you, Rodney. My Swiss English is not that good. Thank you.
So the information provided, I'm going to provide a written testimony. Lakeside County Water and Sewer District is providing incomplete information that does not adequately support the need for and the use of increased sewer and water rates. The project to expand the existing wastewater treatment facilities morphed in the last 2 years from a district-only plan to one that includes countywide septic treatment and a major service expansion to the southwest. Not included in public information over the last years are the as-built capacity of the current wastewater treatment facility ponds and infrastructure. The current number of EDUs or dwelling units that are served by the district is not included for both water and or sewer. The number of outstanding will serve sewer commitments made by the district over the past years and the terms of those commitments, if any, is missing. Audit reports are missing as required by state law. Very recently, the district, beginning in June of 2025, began to provide better financial data and documents at its board meetings with its agendas and minutes. But its prior record of transparency has not been in accordance with with best practices for public agencies. Flathead County's recent growth has shown that other county sewer and water districts and the 3 municipal wastewater treatment systems are all experiencing stress on their capacity. Flathead County government's general policy of doing as little planning as possible compounds problems. The county held its ARPA funds for 3 years before entering into an agreement with this district in the spring of 2024 expressly for the processing of septic. And that is generated by approximately 30,000 septic systems. This agreement altered the priorities of your district and my district and became a 2-phase project that is now estimated at $58 million. Phase 1, which has some septic-related features, was permitted in 2025, and that decision is being litigated. Phase 2 has not been permitted at all. The permitting, funding, and legal uncertainties faced by the district are of no comfort to the district ratepayers nor to those concerned about placing a larger wastewater treatment facility in the lower valley at the head of Flathead Lake. Expediency, or easy, is not a defensible excuse for siting a facility in such a very problematic location. A savings of, and I use that term loosely, of $11.5 million with septic included is bad enough, and it ignores the risks and costs of future mitigation, remediation, or even the relocation of the facility. It is fiscally far better to do things correctly now. Options include return the ARPA funds and septic responsibility to the county, select a new site, or upgrade the treatment facility to meet the needs of the current users. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nick? What do you want me to give them to everybody?
Cameron Dexter, 309 Hawthorne. I'd like to reiterate that by passing this ordinance, you effectively allow yourselves to pass this next sewer increase by resolution, which does repeal the right of the district ratepayers to vote on sewer rates in the future. I'm also going to reiterate that you have failed to provide a sewer rate tax and fee study to the district in public. You have failed to provide district's finances, and you have failed to provide a detailed budget. Continuing with my comment from earlier, you have also failed to provide a capital improvement plan covering the next 5 years and thus must be provided as a standard practice for local government bodies. The CIP, Capital Improvement Plan, should be posted on the LCWSD website and readily available for public review. A CIP is necessary to inform the public the cost for expansion in addition to mere maintenance, which where the current facility has been allowed to slip into disrepair for far too long with pipes and life stations at risk of failure after some 40 years of service. LCWSD's budget and CIP must show it has reserved funds to address this required maintenance. A CIP for 5 to 20 years into the future is the only real way to be fully transparent about the annual maintenance costs this proposed LCWSD expansion will place on district ratepayers and how it will likely drive their monthly bills much, much higher. Documents and an accompanying explanation as to why LCWSD has just approved a new and expensive work order for a contractor to complete development plans for the district. These development plans would essentially allow LCWSD to pre-sell all district future capacity to more new subdivisions such as the Flathead Lake Club. LCWSD was the only sewer and water district that spoke in support of HB 534. During the legislative session's public hearing, to the best of our knowledge, as the legislature did not release public comment during the session. Ratepayers were not given any notice or opportunity to comment on LCWSD's position and advocacy in support of this new legislation. But now, an expenditure by this district for a development plan that would enable the district to pre-sell all district future capacity should go to the voters of this district for consideration and should go through a legally required adoption process as an ordinance and not as a resolution. Provide the contract, we ask that you provide the contract to all ratepayers by posting it to your website. That LCWSD board approved without ratepayer knowledge that obligates this LCWSD reserve 50% of the newly approved 200,000 gallons per day of sewage capacity for the new exclusive luxury subdivision, Flathead Lake Club. Provide the public comment with an explanation, or provide the public with an explanation as to how this benefits and impacts existing ratepayers, even with the developer replacing some of the older sewer lines. CBF was only able to obtain the service agreement between LCWSD and the Flathead Lake Club after multiple requests and investigation into the identity of the name-changing subdivision. I had to compare geo-coordinates and inquire at the county planning office to ascertain that Discovery Land, Territory 1889, and the Flathead Lake Club are all the same entity. The public should not have to allocate hours of time to ascertain whether a luxury subdivision would be served by its small water and sewer district and how this might impact their monthly rates.
Please. Thank you. Next item.
Next item.
Next item?
Next comment, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Susan Cahill, 425 Sunnyview Lane. I'm co-chair of Citizens for a Better Flathead. Lake County Water and Sewer District was established in 1988, and its members are elected by the ratepayers. Let's pay attention to that. Its purpose and charge are as follows. Reduce public health hazards associated with inadequate sewage disposal. Minimize nutrient loading into Flathead Lake to protect water quality and local ecosystems, for which we all appreciate because we live here. Provide safe, reliable, and affordable wastewater collection, treatment, and disposal services to the residents and businesses of the Lakeside area and portions of their Summers community. Protect public health by preventing the spread of waterborne diseases and managing wastewater in compliance with state and federal standards. Montana law and the district bylaws state that the board has a responsibility to inform its members about possible rate increases and changes in sewage management. The board must conduct its business in a transparent way with open meetings accessible to its members, not so accessible at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, with decisions such as rate increases and major sewer management changes made by board vote during these public sessions. Board meeting agendas, minutes, and resolutions, including those regarding rates and system management, must be accessible to district members, ensuring ratepayers are informed and have avenues to participate and comment. Trust in the decisions of the board is earned through transparency and a commitment to open communication. That is why you, the Lake County Water and Sewer District Board of Directors, should defer any action on a proposed rate increase until it can provide the ratepayers and the public with adequate, clear information on its financial and budgetary plans. This is not a radical demand. It is a fundamental expectation of good governance, and in part, it is also part of the board bylaws, to approve a significant financial commitment without a full and public accounting would be a disservice to the very community this board is sworn to serve. At its core, a proposed rate increase is a request for more money from every household and business in this district. Before we can reasonably agree to such a request, we must, the public and ratepayers, have a right to understand the details as millions of federal and state tax dollars are being allocated for this expansion. Where specifically is this new revenue go? Is it for routine maintenance, new capital project on expansion, cover operational shortfall? We should not be asked to trust that the money is needed. We should be shown precisely why it is needed. This includes a clear line-by-line budget that justifies the increase and explanation of alternative funding options considered and discarded. Pardon?
Please wrap it up.
If she needs more time, can I give her my 3 minutes?
No.
And a long-term financial forecast that shows how this increase fits into...
Please be honest with everybody. Everybody else has 3 minutes.
You said to wrap it up, so I'm
Correct.
trying to wrap it up.
Okay, please go ahead now.
Can I finish?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Now.
This shows increase in a sustainable plan for the future. We are concerned that you are hiding something when you don't do this.
Thank you very much for your comment. Please relax, not be quiet. Please be respectful, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Salcedo, 159 Greenbrier Drive, Kalispell. I found out about this meeting only a couple of days ago, and primarily why I'm here is because I find it very concerning that the location for the septic plant is going to be so close to Flathead Lake. Approximately only 1 mile away, and from my understanding it would feed all processed water, or septic in this case, back into the lake. It is also extremely close to Wiley Slough, which also feeds into the Flathead River. Also, from my understanding, the septic isn't being considered up to the standard of clean drinking water. So that in there shows me that this is a very irresponsible location to put the septic plant into. Flathead Lake is considered one of the cleanest, if not the cleanest, freshwater lake in the entire United States. It's something that we're all very proud of, and it's something that can change in a short matter of years if the septic plant is placed in this location. Aside from that, I'm also wondering, how is it that you would even be able to test for septic not being processed correctly in an area where it immediately flows down into the Flathead River? I don't believe that you should proceed with this location above all else. Millions upon millions of people use this lake every single year, not only from Flathead County, but citizens from all across the United States. I urge you to find a different location, because this is a matter of people's health. And if you don't take that into consideration, and if you don't find not the most feasible option, but the most responsible one, people are going to try and hold you accountable for it. Aside from that, of course, I agree with everybody else that they have a right to be able to determine whether or not the rates that they're going to be charged are or are not reasonable. So, of course, I would vote no, but in this case, I'm a citizen from Kalispell and not Lakeside. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Again, the hearing today is for the rates. The location was previously discussed with DEQ, so that's a different hearing. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Derek Young. I live full-time here in Lakeside at 60 Hyden Ridge. I'm not a ratepayer, but I'm a member of this community. What I've been hearing over the last few months, whether it's traffic or the issue at hand here today, or the creation and the approval of a giant subdivision south of us here in town, is that I'm beginning to wonder what this feeling is that this community is experiencing. And we're here voicing our opinions today and our concerns. And I'm concerned that this community is at the brink of feeling disenfranchised. And I'm going to read you the definition of what that means. It means deprived of the rights or privileges of full participation in society or in any community or organization, especially of the opportunity to influence policy or to make one's voice heard. We've heard today from people that are either having to miss work or leave work or make other adjustments to their schedule to be here to voice their concerns. What I feel is happening and what I observe happening here is that the citizens of Lakeside at the very south end of Flathead County are being not represented by the very institutions that are supposed to be here for us, whether it be enforcement or coding or the simple ability to flush a toilet or turn on a faucet and get some water. So I urge you to think heavily about the optics of this rate increase that's in front of these folks today, because they are expressing their inability to be able to pursue their right of happiness in their homes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer Tipton, 123 Crabtree Lane. I just want to say I appreciate the comments about the septic facility being in the wrong location. I absolutely agree with that. I know we're here to speak on the rate increase, and I will do that as well, but my drinking well is 1/4 mile from where you just got this groundwater discharge permit to put this wastewater into the ground. Wastewater is not drinking water. It comes out still with PFAS, pharmaceuticals, all kinds of other problems that I don't want in my drinking water. I know your hydrologist said that that water will magically stay away from our irrigation ditch and my drinking water. Our independent scientists disagree and say that it will contaminate my well and it will eventually make it into Flathead Lake. And so I just wanted to state that again. Also, last time I spoke to Rodney, you said that your ratepayers are happy with what you guys are doing. And if they weren't, they would be at the meeting speaking out against it. Well, I see a lot of people here today speaking out against it. We'll see if it makes any difference, because you know, we've been speaking out about the location for a long time, and it doesn't seem to make any difference to you guys. People spoke out against the ordinance, resolution, whatever. I still don't understand the difference between the two of those and how that affects people's ability to participate in the process. I certainly hope that you will continue to listen to the people that are speaking to you, whether you will hear them, and whether it will change your mind is debatable. I don't know. But I highly encourage anyone here who is a ratepayer, who is unhappy, to please come up and voice that, even if it's just to say, just to get it on the record, because this sewer district seems to think that everyone is thrilled to be paying 60% more, or whatever it's going to end up being at the end of it all. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Susan Howe, 123 Battle Hollow Avenue in Summers. I understand that we hold many things in common with the Lakeside community. Our schools, our QRU and fire safety, even our garden club and the beautiful flowers we have on our little main street. But here, Summers does not have the ability to enter into agreement on whether or not this rate increase happens because of what I understand to be the case with our arrangement regarding sewage service. That seems unfair, and I think it puts us needlessly at risk. A, because there are many inherent risks that people are mentioning today to the lower valley, and we are more approximate to this project than you are. We have great concerns about that. And I see that if it comes to pass that there is not sound, if you are not making sound decisions about water quality and quantity, that there doubtlessly will be lawsuits. And the onus of those lawsuits will fall on us, the ratepayers, leading to increase in costs without increase in service. So I wouldn't want to shoulder the responsibility that you have right now in representing what's happening here now and what might happen in the future, because it will come back to bite us, all of us, and that's really a serious, serious concern. So I hope that you fully recognize the impacts that could occur if Flathead Lake is harmed. There's no telling where it will end. We've already gone through Myce's shrimp and the impacts that could not be turned around. This is another genie that will not go back into the bottle. So please, please make your decisions with all of those things under consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Carlson, 7155 Highway 93 South, Lakeside. I just wanted to comment that it appears that the board members who've been on prior to 2021 didn't plan ahead very good. How did we even get here? And I hope those people who didn't plan have some remorse, and I hope that if they're still involved, they've learned from their mistakes. It looks like since 2021, we've started to increase rates, so maybe we won't have this problem in 40 years. Why do metered users have a 68% increase while non-compliant users face a 38% increase? Then can unmetered users fill their pond and irrigate a field? How do you know if there's no meter? Whereas those of us who have metered units, someone mentioned, you know when we're making coffee in the morning, flushing our toilets. Third point I had is plant investment fees should be increased, especially for our out-of-core users. For instance, taking this Land Discovery Group project addition, they'll only according to the information we received, they'll only pay $2.5 million. That's a giveaway to developers. The average septic system in the US costs $6,000, plus a water system and a well, maybe let's just say $14,000 for that. So that's $20,000. Well, 400 homes at $20,000 is $8 million. So the developers just came away with, is it 6.5? Or is it, anyways. So it's a giveaway. And remember, those are not the average homes in the average places. So their systems would cost significantly more than my 20,000 off the top. Finally, will DLG, the Discovery Land Group, pay for maintaining the water and sewer lines, or do we eat that too? Thank you.
Just maybe a quick clarification. The increase or the fees that you quoted for the out-of-district people to connect to only pays for the treatment. Everything else is covered by them. They have to pay for it all themselves. So the water system, sewer lines, manholes, everything's paid separately. So that's not in that cost that you quoted. So go ahead, the next item or next person.
Hi again, House Bowen, 234 Old US Highway 93 in Summers. I'm working a lot on Flathead Lake quality issues, trying to preserve this treasure for ourselves and future generations. And there's one request I would like to make of the board, is that in your determinations, in your discussion on this issue, and on your vote, I beg you to consider the greatest good for the greatest number of people now and in the future. The greatest good for the greatest number of people now and into the future. And by the future, I mean the indefinite future of humanity and the rest of us on this planet. The research that I've done shows that there are over 1,000 domestic water rights registered to Flathead Lake. And the number and that's obviously a pretty fuzzy number in terms of what the state knows versus where the intakes really are on the lake. And so things run downstream. And the idea of being able to actually contain the biological impacts of this kind of septic usage raises a lot of questions. Again, the greatest good for the greatest number of people. A number of years ago, 5 years ago, my neighbors and I were needing to work on our water system, which had been connected to Flathead Lake now as a groundwater system. I called the district when I heard about the infrastructure initiatives through the federal government, and I said, is there any way that we could access this financial resource and as part of that big infrastructure bill to allow the expansion of Lakeside water to other users, and it went absolutely nowhere. And yet, a different group that's brand new apparently is able to get magical things to happen on short notice. And I'm just asking, one last time, the greatest good for the greatest number of people. And once again, I thank you very much for your help for our community.
Thank you.
Hello, hi, I'm Melinda Miller. I live at 1345 Mackinac Loop in Summers. So we're just customers, not Lakeside residents. We're in kind of that different position, so with just being customers. The neighborhood that I live in is Mackinac Estates. About 90% of people in our neighborhood are at work today. I was able to come, and there's so many great points today that I kind of had on my list to make, but everyone else has already made them. So my only point would be if there's any way to maybe offset the rate or gradually do the rate increase. Just with the past few years, just in the whole United States, it's been hard on people. You know, and I know you guys know that, just the entire valley has experienced that, but that would be my biggest push, is just, you know, people have just kind of had it tough lately, and it's just, it doesn't seem like $30 extra a month is a lot, but people are still coming off of some rough and rocky years. And if you could just maybe think about that and somehow figure out a way to maybe make it a little bit more gradual, then that would be a little more palatable for people, and that might be something to bridge. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Bruce Young. I live at 274 Stoner Creek Road in Lakeside. This rate increase that we're talking about seems to me to be predicated on expansion. And our sewer board has done some de facto expansion outside of our sewer district for several years, giving up the capacity that was designed to protect the lake and designed to protect the infill in Lakeside and somewhat in Summers. I don't understand how you can go outside of our district, skip over subdivisions that don't have sewer to them, like Tamarack Woods, and extend our sewer up into the hills when it was designed to protect Flathead Lake. If you were extending our sewer along Angel Point, there might be some people in this room that would be for that idea, but to extend it to a major league subdivision up in the hills south and west of Lakeside doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me that we would increase our rates so substantially, all the while polluting Flathead Lake and going outside of our district to do so. Some of these other elements that want to build should build their own sewers on their own and stay in their district. Our district was formed for a reason, and it was to protect Flathead Lake. I sat on the first board that located the land for it. The land will not take a substantial increase in septic or sanitation up to 1 million gallons a day. It was never designed for that. It's too close to Flathead Lake. The renowned Professor Dr. Hauer explained to us the river system and how it works, and suggested to us that within 3 days, whatever you pump in the ground in your injection system will end up in Flathead Lake. That just includes chemicals and products and household products and plastics and other things that we're not even testing for. I would like to see this subject turned down, and I would like to see those outside of our district build their own sewer districts or get septic tanks that are acceptable to the county on larger pieces of ground. In the same token, it doesn't seem fair to me that the people within the district are going to be strapped with not only a 61% increase, but a promise of even further increases for the expansion that this sewer board has somehow decided is a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to take it out of there. Members of the board, I am Tanner Smith. I reside at 223 Clothier Lane. I am the ex-legislator for this area, and I am the current National Committee man for the Republican Party. The disclaimer, what I'm about to say does not reflect the element of the legislature or the Republican Party. I come to you as a father and a parent and a business owner. I know each and every one of you. I respect each and every one of you on the board, as well as each and every one of you out there. You know, this kind of puts me in a tough spot because I do a lot of digging for the district. My father has, and I have for the last 40 years. I appreciate this relationship that we have amongst us, but the optics of this resolution ordinance at the beginning, it was bad optics. It kind of felt like Missoula, because that's what Missoula County did, where they just started arbitrarily raising folks' rates. And I want all of you the best for what is, I want the best for you guys, and we got to keep the optics straight ahead. I would maybe recommend tabling this today, the rate increase, because these folks need to have transparency. You know, I stood up here when we had the debate over the DEQ and the septic facility. I stood up here and said, I'll be glad to pay whatever it is to make sure the Flathead Lake is protected. Bruce Young brought up that point, and if that's what 67% means in a rate increase, then I'm willing to pay that, okay? Because we all want to keep this place clean. I think maybe if we pump the brakes, give the folks the numbers, and can see what this rate increase looks like against Big Fork, some of these areas that treat their water extremely well, Missoula, Kalispell, see where that rate falls with other areas like ours. It might be a little easier pill for us to swallow and a little bit easier for us to all understand. Because, there's a lot of division in the community right now between the Discovery, the Coaster, the Zip Line, all the stuff going on, and we need to talk amongst ourselves so we're all on the same page in the same book. So I respect each and every one of you. I'd recommend tabling this and give the folks the information about where this money's going, what it's intended for, what are the improvements we can foresee going forward. I think once this group understands that, yeah, this rate increase is going to keep Flathead Lake pristine for generations to come, I think you're going to have a lot more support rather than a lot of people with torches and pitchforks. So thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks for this opportunity to speak here. I'm Joseph Bybee. I'm not a Lakeside resident. Kalispell, 1005 First Avenue East. I won't be getting a bill in the mail from the sewer district here, but I just wanted to let you know that as part of this Flathead Valley, be it Kalispell, be it Columbia Falls, or be it Summers, I stand to lose something too if this is rushed through. And I'll just read from an essay that I wrote in April just to present more of the emotional impact that this has on a lot of us. Flathead Lake is the valley's freshwater jewel. We build homes around it, we recreate on it, and we boast about it when we show off our Flathead Valley home to friends and family. As residents, we enthuse about its stunningly clear water, and we imagine that the lake's qualities are permanent and will remain for our grandkids and their grandkids. Pristine water quality is not a certainty for our lake's future. The lake is currently under significant threat as the Lakeside community grapples with its needs for an updated sewage treatment plant. Go see for yourselves where the sewage effluent is targeted for discharge. As you crest the hill driving north from Summers and start your descent to the intersection of Highways 82 and US 93, note the agricultural lands spread out in the foreground before you. See the oxbow sloughs that swell with groundwater every spring, and then soon enough release slough waters to the big lake. Know that some of those patchwork fields, yes, some of them the sewage treatment plant owned, are slated to receive the increased volume of lakeside sewage. Despite what government agencies and this lakeside sewage treatment organization, despite what we've heard, what they've been telling the citizens of our communities, the sewage will not stay put in the fields belonging to the sewer district. That effluent will end up in the shallow wells of the neighboring homes, in the adjacent sloughs, and most assuredly in Flathead Lake. There are other locations for and solutions to the septic treatment hurdles that the Lakeside community is currently challenged with. It will be a tragedy if the water clarity and quality of Flathead Lake is seriously degraded by a shortcut solution of the responsible treatment of lakeside sewage effluent. This tragedy is avoidable. Flathead Lake is too valuable to degrade. I urge you to table Resolution 25-6. And again, I thank you for allowing this opportunity.
Thank you.
I'm Nancy Raker, 241 Benz Lane. I first dove into the Flathead Lake in 1998 and was stunned, as the previous speaker just said, at the crystal clarity of the water. This spring, when I walked off to the end of the dock and looked down, the water was still low. There was only a couple of feet of water. There was algae growing all over the rocks. Could not see the color of the rocks. And again, I was stunned. Our lake is already changing. And so I spoke earlier about stakeholders, and other people have mentioned our grandchildren, their grandchildren. We have before us a huge opportunity right now to do the right thing. Please, table this. Take the time to do it right. We have a treasure. We have a treasure. I'm a little user. I have an 1,100 square foot house and one toilet. I use 2,000 gallons a month on average. This means an 82% increase to my sewer rates. That, to put it in perspective, for me, that's about a month's worth of groceries at the end of the year. I did not protest 3 years ago when I heard the meeting to start raising our rates by 5% every year, because that's wisdom. Raising rates 82% at one time is hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. And I too feel like there has not been transparency. And I really don't understand why at the last meeting, if I read your meetings right, you voted in this rate increase and then you went on to vote in 3 more annexations. And the statement for that, and I quote, said, utilizing the excess capacity greater than needed by the current district, unquote. What? Are we at our capacity or are we not at our capacity? I am confused. Am I going to pay 82% more to flush my toilet, or am I paying 82% more for the entire Flathead County's 30,000 septic systems, as Ryan Zinke's letter estimated? I don't understand how much is for the septage. I don't understand the pressures you guys are under from developers, from the county. We are in a crisis, and we can do the right thing right now, or we can make a big mistake. Please do not move too fast. Remember our grandchildren and their grandchildren. We are here about the lake. And if I have to pay 82% more, I will. I want to be with you, but I want to know it's being done right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
My name is John Roderick, 117 Tamarack Terrace. Everything that she just said, I totally agree with. I think that this expansion and this rate increase is predicated on the expansion of services to subdivisions, unknown and wealthy folks, and it is not fair, it is not democratic, it is not the right thing to do, and it is not the right thing for this lake to put it in such jeopardy without serious consideration. I urge you to table this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kay Hopkins, 301 Caroline Point Road. I am a sewage user. We provide our own water through community well. Two things come to light. Number one, I don't know a lot about whatever they're talking about up here, except that I know that good budgeting and good fiscal use does not allow anything to grow by the amount that we are being asked to pay now. Where was our pre-planning? Where was our budgeting? Why did this not come on more gradually? That's my first comment. It's not going to break my back, but my point is it will be for a lot of other people. It was not good fiscal planning. I don't know who can take responsibility for that. Number two, we are aware of a septic system that is being used by a brewery in Three Forks, Montana, that processes all of their own sewage, and what comes out is drinkable water. That has been certified by the state, it was designed by the state, it exists. So if that technology is available, why are we not implementing it in our septic systems? If we're going to be doing a system, then do a state-of-the-art system, and not just same old, putting pollutants in. And especially those people who are counting on their wells to be viable wells. And all of a sudden, we're pumping septic stuff into them? Not fair. Please think about this. I would advise that we take time, look at the possibilities, and not rush into something that can be avoiding a disaster for all of us. If you think low water levels were a disaster, try going into what Lake Tahoe did. Absolutely no growth, zero growth for 10 years in order to bring their lake back. Think about it.
Thank you.
Ron Hopkins, 301 Caroline Point. I just need to add to Kay's comment too. That system that she's talking about at Three Forks, taking care of Bridger Brewing to begin with, was built to include an entire development and beyond. It's not just one thing. It's a system big enough. So if anybody would like to see that, stop at Bridger Brewing in Three Forks and ask to see the sewer system. I've been through the whole plant. It is amazing. And when they're done, it is drinkable water. And it's done by the engineer, David Sigler. There we go.
Thank you very much.
I'm Mike Rasmussen from 352 Lakeshore Drive. My comment is on the math techniques that you use. This notice was talking about the basic rate increase, the basic rate, and you made it a point to say it didn't affect or didn't include water usage. And then you come up with the 68% to give us the idea that our rate increase was 68%. Everybody that's using a metered basic rate is being increased 95%. Yes. That's your basic rate increase, regardless of how much water you use. So that technique, intentional or not, leads us to leads me, I don't know about the rest of them, leads me to question the accuracy and veracity of the rest of the figures that you're going to be giving us. You know, you need to just state, don't add things like adding water to the basic rate to give us a lower number of our increase. Our increase is 95%. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments?
Okay. I'm going to. I'm Cindy Hendrick, and I'm on 141 Redfield Lane. Okay. I remember when we walked in sewer in Lakeside. It was terrible, so thank God we got a sewer system. But I'm also the one that has to have perfectly green grass and beautiful flowers, so I run my water. I harp at my husband all the time that he can't run too much because of our water bill, right? We pay a lot, believe me. My concern is, for you not tabling all this right now, is that the fixed income people, which I'm included in that bracket now, it's a lot of money, guys. It is. You're gonna see my grass have to be ugly, and Lakeside become ugly, and that's a problem, okay, and I get it. Keep Flathead Lake clean. You know, I can't imagine. I was here when the shrimp deal happened, and I was here when the washing machines are all running in the lake. You know, some of you do remember that. And then Bruce Young, you should be listening to him more, put an end to most of that, if not all of it. They're right. You know, if you go travel places and you pull into Polson and you see that lake and you go, wow, I mean, that's where we live. And I think we're gonna get taxed out of here anyway, I do. I think the people that are surviving here will be able to pay your water rates. Because I'm probably gonna get taxed right out of here, and maybe water bill's gonna drive me right out. I don't know. But this is another thing. Transparency. We're nosy, I've always been nosy. My husband is big time nosy. So there's a little thing, we call it the oil camp place, built right across the street from us, or hauled in all their stuff. Okay, well, the excavators weren't local. They brought in local excavators to hook up the water and sewer. Well, my husband, being a retired excavator, he had to be over there, right? Watching what they're doing. 4 places, guys, got hooked onto one sewer meter. 4. They're rentals. They're charging a fortune for these little teeny places. My question is, are they paying per meter? I do. I pay for my water usage. I pay for all that. 4 are hooked on 1 meter, and my husband had his head down in the hole looking at it, going, why? So I guess this is my problem. If these rich people, which I think everybody that has a lot of money, good for you. I wish I did, but I don't. Good for you. Are people asking forgiveness instead of permission? And is that big development up there going to do that? Because I've been here my whole life, and that's what I'm seeing happen. You can't build 2-story businesses in front of the lake because you're going to, ruin the view of the beautiful lake. Oh my gosh, you're a millionaire, now you can do it. I have watched it happen time and time again. So yeah, I'm ticked off. You need to table this, guys, and find out what it's going to do.
Thank you. Do any other comments?
Well, I just have one, but don't want to get up. I just want to know when to hold up my sign.
What sign?
This one.
I've been holding it up the whole
Oh.
time.
It says if you don't want to get up, hold up your sign, and I don't know when to do
Would you
it.
like to get up and make a comment?
When do we vote on it?
And I don't hear either, so I'm sorry I don't hear you.
If you'd like to make a comment, it's available.
No, I just want to hold up my sign.
Thank you.
Thanks. That'll make me counted, right? Okay.
Kate Droll, 501 Archery Road, Lakeside. I urge you to table the resolution. We wouldn't be voting on a resolution today had you not already voted on the no ordinance. And I don't think that most people in the room understand that. I think you're acting with a lack of transparency. I think that by increasing rates at this time, on this day, when there's this pending subdivision, when you've increased the district, when there's a lack of information being given to ratepayers, is wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I never do this, but Catherine Shaw, 152 Wolf Lane. There's a lot of people here. I've never seen this many people show up at Lakeside except for maybe when the coaster was coming in. And every comment says the same thing. We are united to save our lake and save our community. I thank you that have spoken. I'm so red in the face because I don't do this, but thank you. If you took a vote right now, it would be unanimous from the residents and the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Again, Mary Flowers, Citizens for a Better Flathead. I want to correct a misperception from prior comments. You can raise the rates as high as you want, but you will not protect Flathead Lake. That's why we're in court suing the Department of Environmental Quality for totally ignoring the harm that science shows will occur if this expansion goes forward. Raising rates is not about making a cleaner process for the Lakeside Sewer and Water District. It's given the state and said, this is what we're going to do. Science says it's wrong, it will harm the lake, and the only thing that's going to stop that is a lawsuit at this point. This rate increase should be tabled. You, in your mailing, told people that with septage, this was going to cost them almost $29 million for this project. Maggie Davis, at your last board meeting, asked, what is this budget up to now? And you said $45 million. We went and had to do a Freedom of Information Act, but we got the budget that your engineer prepared. It says $58 million. If people think this is the only rate increase you're going to be doing, they're totally being misled. This is the first of a series of rate increases that are coming because of the expansion that you are proposing. As proposed, this expansion will harm Flathead Lake. It's time to revisit the expansion. It's time to table this rate increase. There are systems, you heard about the brewery today. On August, I think it's 18th, people can go to Yellow Bay Biological Station on Flathead Lake. They are having an open house to showcase the new sewage system that they have put in that's modular, that produces drinking water quality water out of it. It's time for the county to find another way to deal with septic waste and to use a system that to either take it and use it in a whole nother area that's not so environmentally sensitive, but to utilize these new systems that can clean water. There are major cities in California that produce drinking water to supplement their irrigation and their other uses. We can't continue to risk Flathead Lake by using systems that are inadequate, and what you're proposing is inadequate to protect our lake. The last speaker just said 90%, 99% of the people here today are asking you to table this, give us more information, and let's go back to the drawing board. We have to add to that petitions that have been collected over the last few days. There are a total of 345 signatures. Of those, 262 are your ratepayers. 83 are concerned citizens at large. And this is not just a district issue. Because of the water quality impacts to the lake, this is a countywide issue. So we want to return those in to you. And also note, someone that needed to leave asked me to say that they recognize that while you took away our right to put on the ballot the rate increase in the vote you took earlier, you haven't taken away our right to recall members of this board, and we need to investigate if we can recall the rate increase as well, because I don't believe it was done legally.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then these are copies of our comments for 820.
Are there any more comments? Please step up if you have any more comments. Seeing none, I guess we'll close the public hearing. Now going to the board for discussion. Not sure if the board has any things to discuss or any other questions. Feel free to speak up at this point. And if you're ready to make a motion, you can obviously do that too. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you to the community for your comments. And I think that we need to table this, Rodney. I just think we need to be more clear to our ratepayers on why this rate increase is needed. Okay? And I'm not gonna try to explain it to, like, we've had, like, over, I don't know, years now, many opportunities for the public to give input, many meetings month by month. And the turnout here by our ratepayers is extraordinary. And so I just want to say I hear you. And so I would just like more time to reconsider how we can present this. And like a few gentlemen had suggested, we need to fix the optics on this. I mean, I think that, you know, there have been very few solutions given as far as like other ways to approach this. I mean, I've been here on the board for, it'll be almost 8 years, and our current system, it needs upgraded, okay? That's just the fact. And so, but concerning this rate increase that we're proposing, I think we need to be answering some questions that have been asked today and to provide more transparency before we go forward. Thanks.
Any other comments?
I tend to agree with my partner here on what he just said. I guess I was included in somebody's comments a few minutes ago about anybody that was on this board before 2021 didn't plan very well. That includes me. And I think I can make quite a story about what we did well for this district. You know, when the EPA funded most of the sewer system that ran in 1987, it was intended to add much more on it, which since that time Summers has been added to it. And there's been a few other small subdivisions added. But when the 1987 system was installed, the treatment plant, what we're talking about now, was the weak link. Because that technique requires us to store wastewater for 9 months out of every 12 months. And you can only irrigate in the summertime. So this new system that was looked at was viewed as the state-of-the-art best management practices, and it protects product, contrary to what some of you say. And I guess I've come to the point where we've been working to protect Flathead Lake as long as I've been involved with this district, which was since 1990s. So that's why I took that one comment about those prior to 2021 didn't plan very well, but we planned a lot. We kept the rates much more reasonable for you all over that period of time from 1990 to, in fact, we lowered the sewer rates significantly from the early flat rate days when I moved here in 1990. My flat rate was $75 a month, and now it's been $40 or $50 for many, many years. So we did lower the rates. The metered issues, been comments about that. Some of the things that came out tonight I would actually disagree with, but you provided more food for thought for me. So I would support the motion. Did you make a motion? Your opinion was you got a table list. I think I'd like to know more about the systems that some of you seem to know about. There was an open house demonstrating some drinking water quality, wastewater I'd like to know where that is, and I guess the Three Forks thing is of some interest since we have a brewery here in town also. And I know it added some additional treatment requirements for their outflow. So I think there's a few more things I'd like to know about before I move ahead with the rate increase. But some of the comments about the rate being excessive, we did a rate study was done about comparable system sizes, and that's everybody's raising sewer rates. Wastewater treatment is getting very expensive, and it ain't gonna be cheap no matter what route we take. I'd like to know more about where this really is. I don't believe we've ever deliberately held information back. I think the information's there about why this was the best practice, the best wastewater treatment facility for our future. It's better than what we've got now. What we got now is 1987 technology, and it was undersized from day one for the ultimate growth of the community. And people are moving to Montana, you're not going to stop them no matter what. So they want to live in Montana. So this septic, I view this septic thing as being one of maybe many. You know, as Bruce suggested, these developers build their own wastewater system, but that just means they pay for it and run it. But it's still going to add to the wastewater disposal needs of the community. So who builds it, whether this water and sewer district gets involved or whether there's a brand new one out here west of town or southwest of town, it's going to have the same effects. So from my perspective, I would support tabling this until we get a few more answers. But at this point, our perspective was that this was the best solution we had, and the best management practices and the engineering firm we hired to help us figure this out is what they presented, and that's where we're here tonight. I guess you raised enough questions that I'd like to hear some more.
You have some more? Thank you. I guess I'd like to explain myself to you. Yeah, that's okay. I'm open certainly what the board wants to do. As a community, we always had a great board. We have been mostly unanimous. It's been a long process. I've done this also for 17 or 20 years. Always looked out for the lake. I think that's the only reason we are all on this board, and I'm sure that's why you guys are all here, to protect this lake, and that's what we're here for. That's the majority, or that's the only reason we're looking out for this sewer district. The treatment facility that we're planning to do, the upgrade, is obviously handling more flow, but it will also treat it way higher than we've ever treated anything up until this point. I'm certainly willing to look into what Ron brought up with his treatment plant. We've had built those. I own actually some of those. I know they're good. Sometimes they're designed for very small flows. And so it's something that is difficult for us to use, but we'll definitely look into it again. With that, I guess I'll leave it up to the board, what they would like to do. If they have any comments, and Kathy, our newest member.
And that's my problem. I am the newest member. I don't know the history like Jim does and so on. Based on what I heard today, I think I would like some more answers as well, because there are a lot of questions here. I can't see the answers. So I think we should table it for right now and get together and really delve into this and get the answers we need. Thank you.
I need a motion. Make a motion.
Hey, board.
Yeah, I motion to table the approval of resolution 25-6.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
table meeting forever or take another look?
Table meets just at this point for the next board meeting, 30 days from now, so, but first we need to have a second if we want to have any more discussion.
I second that. We table it for 30 days.
Okay, we have motion and a second. Any more discussions? If not, we'll do for a roll call. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you. There's one more item now, if you guys comment on items that are not on the agenda. So if you have anything else to say, please step up to the podium and give us your opinion. Not on the reins, please.
Could we have the meetings later, like 6 o'clock?
Go ahead. We'll have to start it again on top. There's more comments here, please. Be quiet.
I'd like to thank you for taking this action, and so what I'm about to say, I think, comes outside the rate change.
Please, people, step outside if you're talking. There's somebody talking at the podium.
Our meeting's still going.
I'd like to thank you for taking this step to table this action at this time. And so now I think it's a question actually, falls outside the discussion we were just having. And as I've told you, I'm a member of the Summers community, and I just wonder what process can happen during this next month to facilitate bringing in issue of these alternatives in terms of processing and other considerations. Can you give us some guidance on that?
I really can't. We have our next board meeting 30 days from now, and we will discuss it at that point.
But who would we contact, and so that we can share information?
Our district, it's online, our manager.
Yeah, email, if you go to our website, there's an email on there, you can email your. We do have a website, lcwsd.com. There's a lot of information on there with a link to the construction project and so on. If some of you haven't seen it, you can go on there. We have a email that's just general called info@lcwsd.com. You can send your comments there. You can mail them. You can if you individually would like to come in and talk to me at the office, feel free to do that. You can contact the office and try to set up an appointment or pop in, and I might be there.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Hi everybody. My name is Cindy. I'm at 364 Spookum. And my question is, could we have these meetings later in the evening?
Thank you.
Cameron Dexter, 309 Hawthorne Ave, Kalispell. I'd just like to request, I think there was quite the consensus on questions and a good trend going. Could you post a Q&A kind of thing on your website so that we can follow up with that before your next meeting?
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I hate talking in public, so yeah, I was wondering if there was some way that we could have saving water through some sort of water, rainwater saving. I don't know what it's called, reclamation. I don't know. They have your water gutters and then they drain into if we can get a rebate or something like that. If we start the whole solar panel thing, for electricity. That's my thought process anyway. I know I didn't do a very good job or make it very clear, but maybe I'll write it down in a letter or something. I'll send it to you guys.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Bowen, I just want to thank you all very much for having this and for listening to us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We actually said one time, but go ahead. Yes, this is a different topic. Go ahead.
Nancy Baker, 241 Benz Lane. I also want to thank you very much for your time today. And something that I would really love to see on your website, you do have some very nice information, as that previous gentleman said, about low flow toilets, low flow shower heads and all those sorts of things. And something, because of my time in Africa, you know, where I've seen families that use the entire family 5 gallons of water a day. And I know I use an extraordinary amount of water. We're all wasteful in this society. And as a board, as an organization, you folks have the position to really help us learn more of how could we cut back. We need to tighten our belts, all of us. And are there some ideas? I don't know if the county requires of new builds low flow toilets and shower units or whatever, and if they don't, why don't they?
We don't have a county building code.
Yeah, so, you know, what could be done to help reduce the amount of waste stream that you guys have to deal with? And could that be a direction and in some way with, and I also, even though, you know, just to give us incentives with rates and whatnot, to participate in those kinds of things.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment from my side. We have actually one of the lowest producing sewage rates probably in this whole community. We're not forcing people, but we have been very cautious, very careful. People are very cautious about how to
Oh,
use
that's
water.
wonderful to hear. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you. I have a few more petition signatures that I want to hand you in just a second here. But I would also like to ask that, and appreciate the fact that you have tabled this to give more consideration. I think a question and answer session outside of a board meeting, holding with some speakers here, would be really helpful to the public, and I would encourage you to hold, maybe, if this is the largest room in the Lakeside area, I'm not sure if it is, but whatever the largest room is, because you got to remember, we turned in, what I say, 351 signatures of other people who weren't here today. This is a big issue, so I think you need to schedule some question and answer times with a diverse panel to be able to take questions, including scientists, and making a decision at your next board meeting would not allow for that robust discussion in this community to take place. So I hope you will, at your next board meeting, secure this meeting, this building for your next board meeting so people can attend again, and look at a outreach process to really bring the community together around what's possible. I think someone asked about the open house. Yellow Bay Biological Station is at Yellow Bay. I don't have the, Jolie?
August 18th?
It's August 18th. I don't have the street address there, but if you Google Yellow Bay Biological Station, I believe it's August 18th. And their system is a, a write-up on it is attached to the comments we gave you. But it's a modular system that can be expanded. It would be ideal for large subdivisions like the Flathead Lake Club, so that ratepayers in this district and Flathead Lake is not concentrating the sewage that is being injected, proposed to be injected into groundwater after it's being semi-treated. The studies show that's harmful, and we need to look for new alternatives.
Let's wrap it up, please. We've heard this before. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I just want to really make it clear, and I think everybody's in consensus with being worried about both the location and the level of quality filtration for the septic facility. I think everybody's in full agreement that we would like it to be drinkable water. And from my understanding, it is not that quality right now in the current plans. If that's not in the table in future changes to this project, then I highly suggest that you change the location. Because it's currently too close to the lake, and I know it's already been mentioned before, but part of the benefit of being in Flathead County is that, from my understanding, you can use natural filtration. That means just allowing any septage that's been treated partially or fully to be filtered down by the ground itself.
Correct.
Use your natural resources. And we live in a really hardy area, so from my understanding that would be to the benefit of that. Don't make the facility anywhere near the perimeter of Flathead Lake. Take the opportunity to make a chance of changing this before it's too late. And I advise that you guys let the public know if you're going to have other options for where you might be putting this facility. Aside from the mention of the other water filtration process that is happening in this beer location, it sounds magnificent. I would definitely approach them about whatever their plan is and how they make quality drinking water available to everybody. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you. Any other comments? Is that it? Oh, Andy?
Andy Laudermilk with the Summer Water and Sewer District. I was just curious of how this affects the 90-day notice that the Summers Board received for our rate increase.
Can't hear you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll have to get back to you.
Yeah, we'll get back. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for your service to our community, to our state, and to our country. The decisions you're making are very serious. I'm here as a concerned citizen. I'm a native Montanan. My name is Michael Didier. Let me just explain my roots real briefly. I was born in Great Falls. My parents lived in Lewistown. My mom was born in Missoula. We owned property at Rawlins, Montana, 10 years before I was born. And my uncle was Ted Rawlins. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that to you is you're looking at a person and my siblings' children. There are multiple generations of planning. In other cultures, they actually plan 300 years out. I'm not quite sure how you do that because I haven't been involved in that process. The one thing that I didn't hear this evening, and this is merely an observation, I heard kind of words around it, but I didn't hear this specifically, is when water's treated, even if it's perfectly treated, unless there's a filtration system such as reverse osmosis used, there's still a high chance of phosphates showing up in the water supply as it leaves the treatment plant. The reason that I think that that might be necessary to take into consideration in any of this stuff is Captain Cousteau did a comprehensive study with a very qualified group of scientists in Lake Erie, and he came up with this. He says the bulk of contaminants that were in Lake Erie were from overused, under-the-counter household cleaners. So part of this comes into just individual choices and use. What's interesting is you can look this up. I'm not sure exactly what the law is, but it's listed in Flathead County that products that have phosphates in them are really not supposed to be able to be bought or sold, which is really interesting. So my question was this: well, who are the phosphate cops? Who enforces the phosphate law? So now all of a sudden, you make a decision to make a change and maybe expand a sewer plant. And I go back to Lewistown for just a minute, which interestingly enough has one of the most purest waterways in all of Montana, but maybe even considered by Cousteau one of the largest naturally flowing waterways in a lot of America. They put a water treatment plant in 1985. They also built a new high school, which also closed a private school because the taxes went way up. It was enormous. After they built a new water system treatment plant in Lewistown in 85, I think it was, they built another one, and we all voted on the one in 85, but they built another one in 99 or 2000. Nobody voted. It was $9 million dropped on a community that is, by all standards, not political. They're just conservative because they had to be to live there. So it's something that is going to affect everybody in some manner, either in water quality. This whole division up here, if everybody starts to think about this, if you haven't taken a trip to Big Sky, take a trip to Big Sky. Look at what happened down there. Friends that we know that own property there since the late 60s and early 70s, they just said, we just cannot afford to live here any longer. And they did well in business. So there's a bunch of things you need to take into consideration. You know that. I'm saying I appreciate your efforts. And it's just a small thing, but it can be really big, because if you swim in Flathead Lake, and I imagine there's a lot of people that do, there's a little gray scum that's on the stones. And that gray scum was not there when I was a kid. And I'm only 62. So
Thank you.
what's it going to look like in another 30 years?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, with that, we're closed the hearing. Thank you very much for everybody coming. Have a good evening.